Now, if you turn on other networks, which I never advise you to do, it's nonstop negative coverage of the ongoing conflict with Iran. For example, Fake Jake over at Fake News CNN says the media is just doing their job and they don't deserve any criticism at all whatsoever. Take a look.
President Trump and his allies are still frustrated with journalists for having the audacity to report on the war with Iran in ways that they do not approve of, rather than simply cheering it on. Every reporter that I know wants the United States to succeed in every way. And the way that reporters help that happen is by asking questions of people in power.
The same guy that couldn't see Joe's cognitive decline. Now, maybe Fake Jake, missed it when his outlet, Fake News CNN, played an actual Iranian propaganda film streaming Iranian state TV to show their dwindling viewership. The new Supreme Leader's first address, which, by the way, wasn't given by him. It was a written statement trashing America. All right, take a look at your screen. Headlines like this are very common. Iran names slain Supreme Leader's son as successor in a defiant message to Trump. And it's not only Fake News CNN. The New York Times posting this fawning obituary referring to Iran's dead terrorist leader as an autocratic cleric who made Iran a regional power. On MSDNC, former Obama advisor Ben Rhodes said with a straight face that Iran's foreign minister is more credible than U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff. Wow. Now, I want to pause for a second and pose the following question. If these are the talking points after a 2-week historic military success, can you imagine how the legacy media, Democrats, isolationists, would have covered World War II, where nearly 500,000 Americans died, or even D-Day, where 2,500 Americans lost their lives slamming those beaches at Normandy, or Pearl Harbor, 2,400 Americans killed, thousands of Americans killed during Iraq and Afghanistan. Donald Trump learned the lessons from Reagan, learned the lessons from Iraq and Afghanistan, learned the lessons of the last century, nearly 100 million human souls murdered in the name of some ism. But now many on the left, some on the right, are in full panic mode over what is a historic miracle unfolding before our eyes known as Operation Epic Fury, which brings us to another fundamental question. Are these Trump haters really willing to risk a nuclear-armed Iran? Stop. Freeze frame. That is the defining question, not really a debatable question. You either want a nuclear-armed Iran, you're comfortable leaving your children and grandchildren with such, or you're not. Are they comfortable with the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism that says death to Israel, death to America, that, according to them, telling Steve Witkoff, are in possession of 460 kilograms of enriched uranium? Right now, that's 60% enrichment, 7 to 10 days. Guess what? That's enough for 11 nuclear bombs in a very short period of time. So are these Trump derangement syndrome patients really willing to put their lives and their children and their grandchildren in a hostage position and let a regime that chants death to America have these weapons that could kill millions, when America now has the chance to avoid what happened in the last century, a potential modern-day Holocaust? Have we learned nothing from history? Make no mistake. Isolationists, leftists want to treat America like we can live in a little bubble. They are living in a fantasy world and are actively smearing a president that even in some cases they claim to have once supported intermittently. In reality, they are just isolating themselves politically while the real world has moved on without them. Thankfully, this has been the most successful military campaign in history. The U.S. is using what we have talked about often on this program, the next generation of weaponry, to dominate Iran without boots on the ground, and this will not be a forever war. As I have said many times, the future of modern warfare will be fought from air-conditioned offices. You are getting a preview of coming attractions, and that means we will need that Golden Dome air defense system over the entire United States sooner rather than later. We need to invest. It also means that the days of, lengthy, long quagmires are over. Nation building are over. Trump also learned from more recent history in Iraq and Afghanistan. This conflict has shown the world that America can project real strength whenever and wherever it wants and needs to. And we have a duty to protect that strength and protect Americans from regimes who proclaim they want us dead.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.